Hello, everyone. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend or is still having a wonderful weekend. If you're watching this right after it was released, we're back again for tarot readings. This time it is time for Pisces. So, hello, Pisces, and everybody watching for Pisces. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're on the pursuit to things and to finding happiness from within and from the outer environment. Hopefully, everything's been going well for you. It's been a while since we checked in. I just kind of picked up the tarot deck and started reading again on YouTube for the first time in over a year. And we're finally getting around to one of my favorites. I'm not the type to play favorites or pump your tires, though. You know that, Pisces. We're going to get right in and see what story tarot has to tell for you guys. So yeah, that's enough of the chitter chatter and the jibber jabber. Let's get into the real reason why you guys clicked in here to get a reading on the go for you. All right, energy at the bottom of the deck, Pisces, is the Emperor. Wow. So this card is speaking to me and saying that you've come a long ways over the last little while, but there's still something here that there is a long way to go. The Emperor, as a major energy, being one of the most powerful cards in the entire deck, says that there is something important for you to look at. This is something going on in your environment that, or an energy that you're needing to align with that you can't turn a blind eye to. It's almost like something is vying for your attention, your inner attention and your outer attention, for you to take a more significant look at something. And we see the Emperor here in the overall energy. It's like you need to be at a point where you're ready to call it or you're ready to go all in. It's like, it's not a cut and dry decision, but it's something that's very important coming up in your environment. This could be a person, this could be a project, this could be anything going on in your environment, or it even could be with you, where it's like you're figuring out now where the specifics of change or the specifics of an adjustment need to occur for you guys. There could be someone as well at this time that you're vying to separate from or gain something, you're trying to gain liberty from at this time, where maybe might be having some dominion over your life at this time, and you're really just trying to like shake it off or get a monkey off your back, so to speak, which can be the other side of that Emperor. So as we push through February and early spring here, this card is a call to you to make sure that you are paying attention to fine details and to the procurement of things around you, so that you're setting yourself up just right, or whatever it is you're driving towards, you are making sure that you're not allowing outside influences to direct you one way or another away from said desire or said goal. Wow, heavy cards, Pisces. In the day-to-day, we've got the Justice card up here. Some of you could find yourselves in family court at this time. Some of you could find yourselves at a situation where you're trying to stand up for your rights or defend your honor. You might have a situation where something unfair has occurred and now you're having to go in and fight for it, or somebody here is trying to get the best of you and it's like it's really just not fair. Maybe they've been kind of walking over you or using you a little bit, and it's time where it's like the recognition for you to stand up in your power and to only do what's fair or only to obtain what is fair is very important to you at this time. To see this card up as the grounding energy, it's kind of like, don't let things slide that you're not okay with, but you're like, it's not hurting anybody. But like, if at the root you're not okay with it, it's important for you to stand up at this time, declare something, say something to somebody, or do something or take action in accordance with what you know is to be more fair or to be right. It's more than just putting somebody in their place. This is about shaking off a larger energy that could have been dogging at you over the past couple months, even for up to a year, Pisces, is because these are such major cards. And the cards are also saying here, don't worry about the outcome. It's like, fight your best fight and go the extra mile for what you believe is right, and things will not turn out against you. This card says like fairness wins over favoritism. So whatever that might mean for somebody, it's like, don't worry about a potential injustice that's happening to you. Just prepare yourself not to allow things to slide to the point where you have missed your opportunity to make things right, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, because for some of you, you may have been passed up on a promotion here. You may have missed out on an opportunity here because someone or something was holding you back from it. Maybe somebody told you that you couldn't do it, or maybe somebody told you that it wasn't worth your time, or somebody could have just snaked right in there and gotten recognition for work that you had done, or for a place where you were trying to attain to. Someone was kind of like, ha ha, beat you there first, right? And that's kind of what it's showing up as, is a missed opportunity, or a delay in renewing a cycle of vibrance and renewed health and prosperity, which has long been overdue. This feeling of having a long way to go, and it's almost like things might seem like they're sliding out from underneath you. We really got to get on top of that and make sure that we're seeing this more in a productive energy, more in a place where we can capitalize, rather than become, a viewer. I'm not going to say victim, but it's more like a viewer of circumstance, because you'd be like watching it from the outside looking in, where you know deep down that you needed to be in on this, or that this might have been your idea from the very beginning, but you've been maybe pushed out or held back by somebody. So that's an energy we really need to overcome. And I feel like the Emperor, it's like this is directly a person in your environment that you're like clashing with or fighting against, that might even be doing this to you, where you've got to come up and align with the bigger energy and say, I'm not going to be pushed around here, Charlie. I'm going to do my fair share of shoving back as we move in through February to early spring. Okay. And what we see here, yeah, somebody is definitely worried about children and the rights of others in this case. We've got a situation that is not in a congruent timeline with what you're hoping. It's like interrupting other things going on in your life. It's almost like this is important, but you're feeling like that verge of like procrastinating on it, where you tell yourself, maybe I just don't have time for that right now. I don't have time to look at it. But these cards are saying you need to look at it right now. You need to at least start planning to make things right. You need to start putting the wheels in motion before it's too late. And I don't know what this is in regards to. It could be a general reading, it's a great number thing to a great number of people. When we see the Knight of Pentacles up like this, it's almost as if somebody has sort of taken something away as well. A person in your environment or a circumstance, which is now like, I feel like the opportunity is like it's at the verge this month of being crossing the point of no return. You wouldn't be able to return to it unless you give it your attention now or in the next couple days at the very least. Okay, so get on it, you guys. There's a big call to action coming forward in these cards so far. All right. And your heart knows it to be true. It knows that if you can just get off there and at least get some momentum behind what you're doing, that it's all going to be okay. You may just be viewing this as a very hard uphill climb, or even just like scaling up a cliff in terms of the adversity or the potential loss of whatever you're facing is posing you with. But the Six of Swords here is saying, like, as long as you are putting your attention and your intention in the right place, you have the ability to sort of take control back of the situation and move it along at a time that you're more comfortable with. Because for some Pisces out there, situations are moving along at a clip or at a pace that they're not comfortable with. And then that could be like a new relationship, or that could be somebody falling complacent in a relationship, and now you're just like, well, what the heck? Well, like, this person isn't the way they were, a few months back or something like this. But as long as you put your attention to do something about it, you actually take some initial steps, you can actually get a tight grip back on that timeline, so it will put your mind at ease. You won't be like restless about this particular thing that's weighing on your mind, in the evening hours or at the nighttime hours. It's like, you've got to really firmly put your foot down to somebody or something in this situation, so that you can get onto more healthy thinking, or at least feeling better about the situation. The call to action is there, but it's like the first couple steps are going to be the hardest. Once you get some momentum behind you, the cards are saying that it could actually come very easy, or you could begin to actually visualize the outcome that you're hoping for, because you've done the initial breaking through. So hopefully that's, oh wow, we've got more pentacles and more court cards coming up. So for some of you, I think you're dealing with an Aries or potentially Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo in this situation. That could be the person or someone that's standing in your way. This person could be withholding money from you that is rightly yours. This person could also be keeping you kind of like the carrot on the string so that the donkey keeps moving forward and you're the donkey. And know that I would never call you a donkey, Pisces, without, it's more of just an analogy to say like somebody might be just like feeding you along, dangling that carrot to say, well, just keep working a little harder for me. Just keep doing this and that and the other thing for me, and eventually I'll give you this carrot. Well, you know dang well that that carrot means too much to them, or getting the things they want their way is more important to them, and they may be taking you for granted at this time. Speak your truth. Speak your values as well, is what the King of Pentacles wants me to remind you, is that if you feel you're being cheated, you feel you're being wrong, detail it, list it out, get it all out there, communicate it, even if not just to yourself to begin with via pen and paper, or make yourself a little recording of yourself in a time where you're actively thinking about what you're going to do as a plan, or all the things that you may feel like you're missing out on, or that this person is withholding from you, so that you have a viable list of things where you can justify the action to yourself if you have to be a little bit more firm or a little bit strong than normally you like to be. You have a great ability, Pisces, to see the good in everyone, to see the silver lining in situations where it's like, you know, you cross paths with some kind of narcissist or sociopath. They're going to jump on that weakness, and they might even have the potential to blind you with it, whether it might be love, money, or charisma. So I'm not accusing you, or I'm not saying that you're weak, Pisces. I'm just saying that you might be like a little bit glazed over, a little bit swooned at the fact that you've got to really step up here and take what is rightfully yours back to you. Okay? All right. So here we go. Wish fulfillment. Some of you are just not wanting to give up on a person or on a situation. You feel like so much has happened that's been good, and maybe this tarot reader, is just harping on all the negative stuff. And if your life is going great, I mean, that's awesome for you. There is a lot of good mixed in, as always, when we look at the contrast of this reality or life in this world. If your life is hunky-dory, hey, go on to another tarot reading. I'm here for the real nitty-gritty, the people that really need a helping hand from tarot. And the Nine of Cups is the wish fulfillment card, and it reminds me, maybe don't be too hard on Pisces. They've been through a lot, and they're continuing to go through it. But the desired change of emotion is what's really important to spirit at this time. So if you're waking up, if you're bummed out about a certain thought that enters your mind moments after waking up, or that certain thought won't leave you when it's time to relax, the Nine of Cups is saying it's time to focus in on self-appreciation, future desire, and what that feels like, what that would feel like to you. Say this ding-dong wasn't in your situation doing all this stuff to you, and things were good. Try and just imagine that in your thoughts and see how it feels in your body, and that might give you like the inspiration or the initiative that you need to take these first initial steps, or break the ice on a very tough conversation that you need to have with somebody in order that you can feel good. It's like kind of like, keep your eyes on the prize. Don't sweat the technique about how we're going to get there. It's like if you were once told you were going to go hand in hand or 50-50 with somebody on something, and it's just not feeling that way anymore, it's time for you to make sure that your share is there, or what it is that you really find fulfilling about this situation, and what you could find fulfilling outside of the situation. A 9 is a number of great change, the highest degree of change. So it wants you to look at the situation as if it were a hypothetical, so that you can get feeling better as well. Somebody's having a tough time with court, custody, and kids, and it's really weighing heavily on the spirit and the heartstrings at this time. It's almost like you're feeling a lot of things are overpowering. Like, we've got King of Pentacles, Emperor, and Justice up here. It's like you could very much be feeling like things are beyond your control, where it's like you really just haven't quite snapped into that point where it's like, I can be the person in control. I'm the one that can affect the situation through the techniques, through the inspiration, the knowledge, and the insight that you have to be able to go out and do that. And so don't sell yourself short is main point of the reading so far. Okay, because here comes the Knight of Wands at the end of things. It's saying the attachment to the outcome could be your saving grace. Now I know that sounds weird because most enlightened or woke people will say don't be attached to an outcome. You'll push it away via the law of attraction. But hear me out for a second. When I say that holding on to the outcome might be the thing that saves the day here, because it is almost going to be the thing that could expose your adversary at this time or exploit your adversary's weakness at this time, because they are so clenched onto an idea of the way things are, of an idea of what they want, the outcome that they are gripping very close to, where you realize the facade of what it is, and if this person's world were to shake without it, you are the one that was ready to adjust first without it and could see life and a reality around this potential outcome or this thing that this person is obsessing over so deeply and dearly, to the point where I feel like it's almost like somebody's got it gripped. Like, you never want to hear these stories where somebody is using any kind of like psychological abuse to keep someone in line. But for Pisces, for somebody deep down out there in the ether somewhere, I feel like this is the message that you need to have. You need to find out where your passions have faded and where they are now, and you have to kind of see this immature energy in your adversary for what it is. And if you can use that to your benefit to get a hand up, whether you might be fighting for parenting time, you might be fighting for equal rights, you might be fighting for anything at this time, where you know that that's an immature energy that could be existing in that person, where you've already risen above it because you're finding that your reality, your path, and your passions, if they're not parallel and congruent to theirs, you don't have to stand for it. You can absolutely take this knee that this guy is and say, you know what, ding dong, I'm not taking another step in the direction that we've been going until we have a discussion about some kind of leadership change, some kind of shift in the dichotomy of the environment or of the situation. And you can just put it as plainly at that and say, hey, maybe you're a dreamer. Maybe you can't expect to accomplish the goal of what you're doing using me as your support to get there, because we've been spinning our wheels. We've been trying and trying and trying. Maybe you're going to ask them to be like, can you envision a reality or without this expected outcome happening your way? It's almost like somebody that goes into the racetracks and they put all their money on pony number 4, in it to win it, and it's just like, right away that horse is a lame duck, but you can't tell that to that person because they got a feeling, they believe it to be true, and they're attached to that outcome, that as soon as this day comes, as soon as he crosses the finish line, all is going to be sweet, well, and dandy and good. Well, you're kind of there maybe in that person's life to say, hey, Buck, well, is it? Is it really? What if it wasn't, and it is kind of like, because somebody gets caught up in this dreamy state as well, where it's like they're not really too clear, but they just happen to be lucky to have the upper hand in terms of being able to at times manipulate situations, perspectives, and even the bending of truth a little bit in this thing. And it's like you might not be the only person that has been hurt aside from this. So it's going to be a difficult battle for you, but I think as soon as you get the momentum rolling behind you, Pisces, you're going to be able to come in and stand in your power, and it's almost like you are going to take a little bit more of a masculine energy, a fiery touch, a very forthright, authoritative, because that's what we're missing here in the reading. Other than this, what energy we're trying to align with, which is why I'm telling you, don't be surprised. Like, if you feel like you're going to cuff somebody out the side of the head, don't do that. But I get how you're feeling. I get how you're wanting to feel, but you're going to have to find the more subtle and the more aligned and attracted energy to the alternative of cuffing them upside the head, so that you can maybe wake them up from the dreamy state, especially if this still might be someone that you care about, or we got the children involved or something like that. Okay, Yeah, because the house might be upside down right now. Things might be at tatters. Business might be in shambles. Things might be falling apart in terms of like looking at future finances. We've got lots of pentacles up here, so somebody's worried about a home based business or a self based business or a partnership in business that has gone awry, and they need to stand up. They need to put an end to it before more is lost. Okay. Pisces, I hope that helped you out. It's a pentacle heavy reading with a lot of power coming in here. So I want to make sure you guys are getting ready to take the reins, to take that power, take it back to the table, rather than having like the table like ripped out from under you and somebody just turning the lights on or off and being like, nope, too late, sorry, you missed your chance, right? There's a real risk of that is coming through with these cards. But more so, I think the energy is going to be supportive of you as long as you're aligned with it and as long as you are showing the universe that you are taking action. You're helping yourself in this situation. Okay? Pisces, I love you lots. We'll see you next month.